All right, so we got the driver's side rear drum off. This was a bitch. It had been on there for who knows how long, maybe 50, 60 years, and it was just a royal pain to get off. I've got some photos of the mechanisms that we tried. I'll show here. This is what I call you've got some wood and a prayer. It didn't work. The second one, we used a puller and some larger wood. This also didn't work. We could not get it clamped on straight, and it just kept kind of torquing off to the side. You can see we've got some fire, a big hammer, and a piece of wood that we used as like kind of a dead blow. We beat on this thing for hours, and it wouldn't move. And then finally called up my good friend Harbor Freight, and we got a puller. And this thing worked really well. Was able to get it on in 15 minutes. Made the most satisfying pop, and then came off. This thing is really, really cool. The only annoying thing with this is it's pretty shallow here. So here, we use the existing nut, and the way that it laid out, I don't know if you can see, but it was not possible to get the socket around it, so I needed to use open-ended wrench in order to put that nut down. It took a while. It took longer to put the thing on than it did to actually pop it. It took probably 10 minutes to get this thing down because these nuts and these bolts are old, were kind of rusty, and didn't really want to go. Oh, other interesting thing with this, with the Studebaker, the driver's side, everything is reverse threaded. So these studs here are all reverse threaded. So you got to do lefty tighty, righty loosey, and you want to get that right, or you might accidentally strip a stud or break a stud, which no one wants. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go over to the passenger side over here. It's a bit of a mess. It's quite a bit darker. Can't see it as well, but I'm going to get that puller on there, show you how it was all lined up, and get this thing pulled. So I'll be back once I get it on, and hopefully we can hear that satisfying pop again. All right, added a bit more light over here, hopefully make it easier to see. One of the things that I noticed when I was putting this on is that this side spins a lot harder than the driver's side. This is still a little bit loose, but it makes me wonder if the shoe is still engaged and that it's kind of frozen in place there. But let's give it a shot. Coincidentally with this, this is a 3/4 inch bolt. Our breaker is also 3/4 inch. So I've got the castle nut on here. They say you want to leave that on so it doesn't pop off. It can damage these threads. So gave it about a 1/4 inch. I'm going to just engage this slowly. Now I'm going to need 2 hands. So gonna have to close this up and come back when it pops. All right, round 2. Put a bunch of tension on this screw here, and it didn't pop. So hit it with a lot of heat. Move the castle nut in, so it's just barely off right now. Because if this thing explodes, I've got a feeling it's going to be a fair amount of force. And I want to do everything I can to minimize any thread damage. So I got this castle nut on just a little bit of space. So I'm gonna try it again, but just wanted to update with that so that if someone in the future tries something like this, they don't have too much thread space on there, because you definitely don't want to damage those threads. All right, it did finally break off. Took 3 heat cycles and a lot more tension on that puller than the other side, but I said we were banging on it for 3 days, so that might have been a difference too. But it did come off finally. Waiting for it to cool down. We'll take that off.